So eto na nga mga ka-Web3 crew, nakakatuwa dahil kadagdag kaalaman na naman po mga ka-Web3 crew dahil isa po sa ating mga kasama, isa sa mga speakers natin. I am with Mr.
Naeem Aslam.
And how are you feeling today?
I feel very excited to be here in Dubai as always because a lot of innovators are here, a lot of good companies are here, and some sound investors.
Can you tell us what do you do?
So I work as a CIO and a co-founder of Azek Capital Markets. I write for Nasdaq and I'm also a columnist for CNN.
And what can you say about the current state of the crypto right now?
That's a really interesting question. So when we talk about cryptos, mostly it's about Bitcoin. So for me, two things are more important. Number one is the BlackRock ETF on that one, and then secondly is the halving event which is coming next year. But let me ask you, because you are in this space, you like cryptos and Bitcoin, what do you think is more important? Do you think it is the halving event or is it the blockchain event? The BlackRock event. What do you think?
For me, the most important thing is the halving event.
Okay, so for me, it's completely the opposite. And
why?
I'll tell you, this is what makes it interesting. Because halving event is going to provide a tailwind if BlackRock event gives us a good news. And I'll explain to you what exactly I mean. So I think BlackRock, what is BlackRock? BlackRock is not only the biggest institution in terms of asset management, but BlackRock is an institute which was the advisor to the White House back during the financial crisis, the primary broker dealer, and also during the pigs crisis, during the COVID crisis, and also investor in the mining companies, for Bitcoin mining companies. So when they began the process of investing in my Bitcoin mining company, for me that was a very clear indicator at the time, this company is really going to come up with something which will support a Bitcoin environment. Now, if BlackRock takes an opposite position and ETF gets rejected, I'm not worried about ETF getting rejected. I'm a bit more worried and concerned about if BlackRock leaves the space altogether, because all other companies are only following because of what's happening with BlackRock. Then everyone else also begin to lose interest. And if that happens, then we are going to see a dramatic drop in the entire space. So halving event will be a very small one which could provide some sort of a movement to the upside, but it won't provide a massive explosion to the upside. The massive explosion to the upside is going to happen when BlackRock ETF gets approved, and secondly, when halving will come, we get plenty of a tailwind which will move the prices even more higher.
So now I changed my decision. I go with your decision. Anyway, what do you think is the role of crypto to the geopolitical tensions?
That's an excellent question. So when it comes to geopolitics, you got to think about the dominance of the dollar index as the main currency, foreign exchange and everything else. Now with BRICS, where we have now Saudi Arabia, the biggest holder in terms of oil, India, a lot of grain, Russia, a lot of grain. Now the talks are that, okay, you know what, we're going to have our own currency, which is going to be backed by gold, which is going to be backed by soft commodities, okay, or precious gems and several other things, because Africa is, after all, part of that BRICS now as well. So I think cryptocurrencies, especially the ones which are going to be backed fully, either by a soft commodity or backed by metals like gold and other precious metal, will have value in that particular play, right? But apart from that, I think the fiat is going to be very, very important. But Bitcoin as an alternative asset will still continue to play the role. And we can stay here for all day long, continue to debate whether it's a currency, whether it's a commodity. For me, it's a transfer of value.
Okay, do you think there will be ever another alternative asset within the crypto assets?
Everyone talks about, here is a project, for example, Cardano, Solana, blah, 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 the list goes on. They are more efficient, more fast, TPS is great, transaction costs are great. But when I look from the institution perspective, I only hear one thing, and that is Bitcoin. And that's a currency which is the slowest currency on the planet right now. But yet, institutions are ready to back because there's an enormous amount of support behind it. So I think For me, Bitcoin is still the player very much.
Speaking of Bitcoin, it's a little bit personal. How many Bitcoins do you have? You can share it with me, or you can just whisper it like I'm just your friend or family. Can you do that?
Yeah. So I'll give you the public answer. The public answer is I've never sold my Bitcoin.
I never sold my Bitcoin. Anyway, what is next for Bitcoin?
Yeah, the two big things are really the BlackRock ETF for me is the most important one. Halving is great. I think that will change the sentiment a little bit if the negativity comes from the BlackRock ETF. But the more important thing is institutions over here, the adoption, the big time.
Last question. What do you think is the future of money?
Future of money really depends which ecosystem we are really talking about. And the ecosystem that we are really talking about, I think transfer of value in terms of an efficiencies and everything else will be still controlled by the central banks, which is known as the CBDC. That would be it. But other alternative forms will exist. But in terms of an asset value, it will still remain as Bitcoin.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Parang hosting lang to ng no? Parang mga Mr. Kembular. Anyway, do you have anything to promote or visit your website or anything?
Yeah, if you wanted to stay up to date with research, go to zayacapitalmarkets.com where we have all the research for you.
Okay, at dyan po magtatapos. Marami pa po tayong kakausapin dito lang yan sa FOMO, the future of money.